But I'm Mike Wilbon. Cornerizer ran out of gas. So we're going to the pen to bring in the closer.
I'm feeling Frank. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's
there
go.
you
I'm
go.
ready.
Huh? Are you as good as Danny Palencia as a closer? Are you that good?
Not yet.
Okay. He's been hurt, but he came in to get one important out last night. But we'll get to that.
See what he does against the Yankees
Yeah.
in October.
Welcome to PTI. The old grump has the day off. So I am joined by our great friend, the host of Starting Lineup on Sirius XM Radio, Mr. Frank Isola.
Wow.
That's a lot of energy for a Monday.
They must have.
I'm just saying.
They must have.
Man, let's
Friday.
start. It's Friday. It's my Monday. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Been all over the world the last few days. We're going to start with the Lakers criticizing the officials after last night's loss to the Thunder that leaves them in a 0-2 hole. J.J. Redick said LeBron got clobbered all night and that the Thunder has players who foul on every possession. And Austin Reeves said he felt disrespected by crew chief John Goble. Frank, do the Lakers make any legit points about the officiating?
You know what, Mike? I think they did. It's not the reason they lost last night. The reason they lost last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes to the bench with about 10 and a half minutes to go in the third quarter, and they get outscored 32-17.
Yep.
You cannot lose the minutes when
he's off the
SGA
court.
is on the bench. Okay, now, for their complaints, and this is something a lot of teams complain about, that out on the perimeter, Oklahoma City gets away with a lot. Right, so they're a very physical team.
Not
Maybe
just a
don't foul
Laker
that much
complaint.
at
The whole
rim.
league is complaining about that.
Yep, exactly. And you wonder how that could keep impacting them. You know, Sam Presti, their president, is saying, this isn't good that everyone's constantly complaining about
on
it.
this.
But, Mike, you know this. Everything that J.J. Redick said last night, everything he'll probably say today and shoot around tomorrow is all about Game 3. Because that's the season for the Lakers.
It is.
You've covered a million of these series with Pat Riley, coach of the Knicks, Phil Jackson with the Bulls, going back and forth through the media all the time. This is old school playoff basketball. It was a well-planned gamesmanship by J.J. Redick. It was smart. He has to do it, Mike. They're playing for their season again.
Smart and necessary.
Yes.
I mean, J.J. said exactly what he needed to say. Doesn't mean I'm buying it.
Yep.
I mean, I understand why he's doing it. And by the way, actually, I'm buying some of it because LeBron gets hit a bit, okay? He gets hit a lot. He gets hit too much. As big and strong as he is, and JJ's point about smaller players being theatric, nobody's as theatrical as the Lakers. No one. In the history of basketball, nobody's gotten the long end of the whistle like the Lakers. Okay, going back to when they hosed Sacramento to get the Lakers into the finals.
LeBron's an actor.
And we can bring
He's
it up
in
to
movies.
modern day. Luka has done it, and he seems to have rubbed off on LeBron, who did not do that the first 15, 18 years of his career. It's only lately. I get that. But it's not one of the top 5 reasons the Lakers are in a hole. Lakers aren't good enough.
Yeah.
They're not nearly as good as Oklahoma City. Neither is almost anybody else. And I don't know what they're going to do. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is capable of a 38, 42-point blow-up explosion, and he hasn't even done that yet. LeBron has been terrific, and they can't cash in on it. Austin Reeves had a great game last night. Didn't matter.
Yep.
We know who the better team is, and now the Lakers are fighting that uphill battle to try to figure out how to win one game.
It's hard to win when your best player isn't playing. Luka hasn't played yet. Oklahoma City is 6-0, and you mentioned about SGA. He's only scored 40 points thus far in the series. He is capable of a 35-point game.
Easily.
And when you're talking about free throws, Mike, LeBron averaged 5.3 free throw attempts during the regular season. He's taken 5 in the series, but guess what? SGA's taken 12.
And he
it's
got
not like he's
whistle
taken
for his 4th foul last night, while that wasn't the case with the Lakers. Let me just say this about Luka, and I'm going to be a little bit outrageous here. Luka Doncic wouldn't be the answer in this series because Luka's doing this from the floor. He's doing this all the time while the action goes the other way. That ain't going to help the Lakers. So at some point, they're going to have to forget about this, even though, once again, J.J. Redick did the right thing.
Yeah.
They're going to have to forget about that and play tomorrow.
And don't you think also Oklahoma City, the way they're viewed now, it was the little, the little engine that could, the small market team.
Yeah.
Now they've become the evil empire.
Monster.
Everybody complains about them.
Everybody complains about the championship team.
Yep.
Everybody. And so now it's Oklahoma City's turn.
And you know Sam Presti's going to have some kind of response. He doesn't like this.
You know what that is.
All right, Mike, let's move to the East where the Pistons are now up 2-0 on the Cavs after winning by 10 last night. Kate Cunningham, 25 points for him. Tobias Harris added 21 for Detroit. As for the Cavs, oh boy, James Harden struggled again, shooting just 3 of 13 from the field, missing all 4 of his three-point attempts. and committing 4 turnovers. Mike, are you more focused on what's going right for the Pistons or what's going wrong for James Harden and the Cavs?
I'm going to play nice first. Let me give the Pistons some credit because we know they've been looking for that second score and a third score all season long. And I know I was one of the people who was critical of them for not making a move to bring in some more scoring at the trade deadline, and they didn't. And it looked like they were suffering. They could have been and probably should have been out of the series against Orlando, except Franz Wagner gets hurt. But Tobias Harris is averaging 20.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, shooting 50%, right?
Yep.
And more importantly, perhaps, Duncan Robinson is shooting 59% from 3 and averaging 18 points a game through the 2 games, both those guys, through the 2 games in this series. Yes, Harden and Mitchell, their turnovers, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that together because they give up too many easy points to a Detroit team that has struggles to score. But when you turn 20 turnovers into 31 points, as the Pistons did in one game in this series, you're helping them. So that you throw that back, and it's in the lap of Harden and Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. So I think, you look at Detroit, their season was hanging on by a thread. And then Cade Cunningham put together a spectacular performance in Game 5 against Orlando, saved their season. They got lucky in Game 6. Orlando scores 19 points. They blow them out. Now they won 5 in a row. And it seems like maybe they got over the little mental hurdle of the pressure of being the number 1 seed. They just look a lot better.
They did.
Now,
good point.
As for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I like James Harden. I like the trade because to me, he plays all the time. Darius Garland, injury prone, a little undersized. But it's not just the performance that's been shocking by Harden. I just don't think he's competing hard enough. I'm not saying he's not trying. I think everyone else is at a playoff level. Mike, the turnover with 33 seconds to go. James, you're dribbling the ball in front of Tobias Harris like it's a preseason game in October. I mean, you have to be, how about a football term, a little ball security? I mean,
Frank,
it was
that's
terrible.
a great point.
And he didn't score in the fourth quarter. One other thing, Cade Cunningham in the fourth, 12 points. Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Harden, 10. He outscored them by himself.
Let me go back to Harden for a second because Harden's he's a fascinating person. You and I have seen his whole career. The results don't necessarily reveal intent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
James Harden wants this badly. He does. I mean, I've been around him in locker rooms after games and multiple teams. He wants to be great in May. It's just not there. A lot of people try to scale the mountain and they don't make it to the top. And maybe that's just James Harden's cross to bear. I feel for him a little bit. The other night, he was really critical of himself after the game. He took the whole loss. No. You have people on that team who average 20 getting 2. So we're not going to put that on James Harden. I just don't know if they can do anything about it. You know what I mean? Is Harden going to suddenly, after all these years of playoff results, become a spectacular fourth quarter player in May? I'm not anticipating that.
And let's not let everybody off the hook here. Evan Mobley, all that talent, 36 minutes, 1 rebound.
1 board.
Come on now.
No. And Jared Allen, the previous game, 2 points, 3 boards?
You're that
Those
size?
2 guys, Twin Towers, what?
Mike, you're that athletic. By accident, you should grab 5.
Let's go on Harden. Not letting it.
1 rebound.
Let's move to tonight's games. Knicks, Sixers, Spurs, Wolves. The Knicks are up 2-0. And while forward OG Anunoby is listed as questionable, so is Philly's Joel Embiid. In the West, the 1-1 series moves to Minneapolis after the Spurs' 38-point beatdown of the Wolves Wednesday. Frank, are the Knicks or the Spurs more likely to win on the road tonight?
All right, so you mentioned OG Anunoby, and it's like the NBA. It's either a calf injury or a hamstring. And I think of Jalen Williams at Santa Clara. Jalen Williams, think about how much time he's missed. Luka tore his hamstring or grade 2 strain on April 2nd. We haven't seen him since then. So I'm a little worried because OG Anunoby,
there's no way OG Anunoby should be allowed to play tonight.
He shouldn't.
Or my view right now is going to play tonight.
But
no way.
He's played like a superstar.
He's been the best all-around player on the Knicks in the pro.
He's a shutdown defender. By the way, the Knicks have won 5 in a row. You talk about a team that's caught it. So the Knicks were good enough to win 62 games during the regular season. The Knicks bicker a lot internally, but when the playoffs roll around, they seem to have figured it out. I just wonder about tonight for Philadelphia. I feel bad for the Sixers from this standpoint. They post one of the greatest victories in franchise history in Boston. And the next time the fans get to see them, you're down 0-2. It's like they're still, they're fighting that uphill battle. I think Maxey will play much better. They were terrible in the fourth, and he was the key in that fourth quarter of Game 2 at the Garden. That was their game, and they missed open shots.
Should have won that game.
But you know what they also needed? An inside presence.
Well, they get that if Joel plays. Okay, here's the deal. I was in Madison Square Garden 2 nights ago. I know that the Philly people, all of them, as a traveling party, they were trying to figure out what's the best course of action here. And I think there was some regret, understandably, and second guessing of self that they didn't hold Embiid out in game one.
Yeah,
On Monday.
I know.
And then you get to Wednesday because the Sixers should have won that game. But they went so cold with three-point shooting at the end of that game, they didn't have enough energy to get through it. So if Joel Embiid is out there tonight, and I fully expect him to play just as much as I expect Anunoby will not play. I expect Embiid to be out there. I know he wants to be out there. Philly can get this game tonight, which would mean I'm not betting on the Knicks to win. The Spurs, I think Minneapolis, you talk about a team with a chip on their shoulder all the time. You know, they are, and they got the personalities to do this. They are not backing down from Wembanyama or San Antonio. So I expect Minnesota to win at home. I still think the Spurs can get that series, but I think Minnesota wins game 3. But I think Philly wins a game tonight, and then let's see where we are. How long do the Knicks stay hot, particularly if Anunoby has to miss both games?
And I'll tell you what, Minnesota, what they've done, give Chris Finch a lot of credit, give those players credit. You got to knock off Jokic in the first round, and just to get to a conference finals, you have to beat the Spurs. They take on the personality of Anthony Edwards.
By the way, so give me an over-under tonight, Anthony Edwards. How many points?
I think because they're home, I think he knows they need to win. I'm going to give him 25. And Mike, and I'm not saying guys aren't hurt.
Right.
But we got guys sitting out Game 7 elimination games. Yeah. Anthony Edwards is coming back.
Yep.
He could have said, you know what, I'll see you guys in Game 3. They take on his personality.
Anthony Edwards tonight, 30-plus.
All right, I got, 25 is pretty good.
Yes, 30's better.
Who wins the game?
I got Minnesota winning the game.
How many goaltends for Wembanyama?
Who's counting?
Chris Finch is counting.
Let's take a break.
He had 4 in Game 1.
But coming up, my Cubbies and the Rays are off to fast starts. But which is more likely to keep it up?
Speaking of the EVA umpire. And the Hurricane.
Time to spank Frank and toss up. What's first?
Toss up more likely to keep their fast start going, the Cubs or the Rays?
All right, to channel my inner Kornheiser, I got to go to the glasses. The Cubs are in a phenomenal place. Having won 19 of 22. A 10-game winning streak followed by currently going into Texas tonight, a 9-game winning streak. 19 to 22, Frank. The last time the Cubs did that, 1945, which was a rare World Series year. The problem is we got 10 pitchers, 10 on the injured list, including Matthew Boyd, Justin Steele, Cade Horton, the starters, Porter Hodge, and Caleb Thielbar. We got guys on the injured list. The thing is, though, we got the best defense, defense
that matters
in baseball, and guys are hitting. And I'm so glad we did not pay $65 million a year for Kyle Tucker. I'm just glad we did. We don't need that. This lineup, everybody pitches in. Even when we got off to a slow start, somebody was hitting. Now everybody's hitting. That can't go forever, but I'm going to take them. I'll leave Tampa to you.
How about 15 straight home wins? Really impressive.
Yes.
First time, what is that, 91 years they've done that? All right, so as for Tampa, you talk about pitching, 4th best ERA in the majors, but their pitching staff is all banged up. And give them a lot of credit. You have, Wrigley Field, and you're doing a little meet and greet over at the Cubby Bear Lounge, the whole thing. They play at the Trop.
Telling that.
Which is, there's nothing charming about it.
There's nothing around the Trop.
But guess
it's
what?
It's remodeled.
But it's home sweet home for them, and they're back there 14-4 there. So the Rays right now, and you look, and
the Cubs and Rays have played a lot of home games.
100%. But it's Tropicana Field. And last year they played at the Yankees spring training facility, the George Steinbrenner Field, and they didn't win a lot of games. For the Rays, right now, you look at their record. They're only a half game behind the Yankees. Do you know that there's only 3 or 4 teams in the American League that are
the
plus 500?
The American League is dreadful. It really is. It's dreadful.
Cleveland, the Athletics, the Yankees, and the Rays. There are 11 teams within 3 games of the wild card. So the Rays right now, the pitching staff is held up, but they got a lot of guys hurt. Hopefully it works out for them, because with their payroll, how can you not root for the Rays?
By the way, the Cubs are playing in sub-zero temperatures almost. All of April and May in Chicago is cold. The high tomorrow is like 50.
I once covered.
So we hadn't even gotten hot yet, and the bats are hot.
I once covered Mets opening day in Chicago. It was
snow,
about 32,
flakes,
33. Oh,
flurries.
It was brutal. Froze in that press box. Poor old me, drinking hot.
Oh, wait, we got another toss-up. What's next?
All right.
Toss up, more auspicious playoff start, the Hurricanes or the Avalanche?
You know what? I think if you're looking at entertainment value, and I think entertainment value should be weighed in, you got to be looking at the Avalanche, all right? Who are scoring goals like crazy. 6-0 with 27 goals, a better pace even than when they won the Cup 5 years ago when they were at 4.1 a game. You got McKinnon, you got Landeskog, you got McCann, you got those guys scoring just incredibly. And so when you can score like that, you don't have to have great goaltending, although they're getting better goaltending.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, that this offensive pace like the Cubs probably will not continue forever straight through the Stanley Cup playoffs, but it's pretty exciting to watch, and I'll go with the Avalanche.
Yeah, and physically, both the Hurricanes and the Avalanche, that's how they win these games. Like Matt Boldy of the Wild, he had 6 goals, 33 shots against Dallas. He's got 0 goals and only 4 shots on net against the Avalanche. But one thing about Carolina, I love this stat, Mike. They've only trailed in 1 game. They're 7-0. They've only trailed once, and that was in Game 2 against the Flyers.
Are we looking forward to a little collision course?
Well, they were the 2 best teams during the regular season.
They were the 2 best. But by a large margin, the Avalanche, when it came to the goal differential, was huge over the entire league, including Carolina.
And you're giving goals? Carolina in the playoffs, 21 goals, 8 against in 7 games.
Against. I mean, so we could get the styles make the matchup.
Yep.
If Colorado can continue scoring like this, which is not.
Yeah. And the cute story of the Flyers making the playoffs now down 0-3 in the series. 14 penalties.
At least the Flyers knocked the Penguins out. They're good for something. That's it for Toss Up. Let's take one last break, but still to come. A former player criticizes Bill Belichick's program at North Carolina.
And Darren Peterson says he's figured out what caused his cramping issues at Kansas.
Well, his agent?
Just in time for the draft.
Yeah, how about that? I ain't taking him. I'm not taking him. I need to see more. He didn't show it to me. Not taking him. Too many other players to choose from. Yep. And he's great. He's a huge talent. Joe Montana and Steve Young led the legendary Niners offense, and Jerry Rice. Lott held down that great defense, first as a corner and most famously as a safety. Lott was a 10-time Pro Bowler, 6 times first-team All-Pro, 4 times Super Bowl champ, and a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He once demanded the tip of an injured finger be cut off during a game rather than miss playing time. Niners tight end Jamie Williams told me in 1990, quote, "Ronnie is silent most of the time, but when he wakes up, it's like a massive storm rising across the Plain States in the middle of a sunny day. The timing is always great. He's like a soft-spoken Lawrence Taylor," close quote.
I don't think of anything soft about Ronnie Lott.
Nothing.
You're quoting from your story. The staff here at PTI provided me with your story. You referred to him and Joe Montana at the time. They were locks for the Hall of Fame. You were right about that. How about in the same era, Mike, Ronnie Lott, who hit like a linebacker, Mike Singletary, and Lawrence Taylor.
Amazing.
All played in the same conference.
Same conference.
Right?
Happy anniversary, Jadeveon Clowney. On this day 12 years ago, the South Carolina defensive end was chosen by the Texans with the first pick in the NFL draft. This after a decorated career that featured his iconic backfield slam on Michigan's Vincent Smith in the Outback Bowl. In the NFL, Clowney's made 3 Pro Bowls over a career in which he's played for 7 different teams, though has never posted double-digit sacks in a single season. But he did have 8.5 in 13 games for the Cowboys last season and is currently, Ryan Poles, a free agent.
How about that hit? That has to rank as one of the biggest hits in college football history. But for a guy that was the #1 pick, and I think he will end up on a team. It'll be his 8th team. Is that a little odd to you?
It's a lot.
For a guy with that talent?
People want stand-up pass rushing, sack the quarterback.
8.5 sacks last year.
Too. Happy trails to the WNBA offseason. The league opens regular season play tonight. Storylines include the Connecticut Sun's last opener before becoming the Houston Comets Part 2 next season, the Toronto Tempos franchise opener, and Flau'jae Johnson and the Storm taking on the team that traded her draft night, the Valkyries. Saturday features Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd and the Wings, taking on Caitlin Clark and the Fever, and a finals rematch of the Mercury and Aces.
Good job by the WNBA to schedule the last 3 #1 picks, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, for opening night. I interviewed Kiki Rice of UCLA. Are you aware that she's from this area? Are you aware of that?
No.
So she's
Family extended Kiki Rice, who I'm rooting for in Toronto.
That's right. She's on the expansion Toronto Tempo. And how about all the players from UCLA that got drafted? I interviewed them at the WNBA draft. I said, you know what? I used to think of you guys as an underdog. You're basically the Dodgers. You should have won.
That's right.
Right?
And they did.
And they did.
No errors today. Clean show. We're running out of show. Let's go to the big finish. Former North Carolina quarterback Gio Lopez said there was no air playing for Bill Belichick, and football is fun again now that he's at Wake Forest. Your thoughts?
When do they play North Carolina? A disgruntled
can't wait for that
employee?
if they
Join
do.
the club. We're all disgruntled. Novak Djokovic lost to a qualifier. How about that? In his opening match in Rome. Is that significant?
18-1 in those matches, but he's not on form before we get to the Roland Garros red clay. Darren Peterson says his cramping issues at Kansas were due to taking high doses of creatine. Your thoughts?
I think a lot of teams are going to be scared off by the fact that he missed a lot of games this year. NBA draft lottery on Sunday. That's got to be a big deal.
No,
right?
there's no Wembanyama. There's like 12 or 15 deep. Last one, Canadian Sabres, Golden Knights, Ducks. Who you got?